Imagine this. What if there was a proven step-by-step formula from over 100 years ago that could help you attract not just money, but everything you truly desire in life? Health, success, relationships, and abundance, without relying on luck, endless hustle, or cutthroat competition. A method so powerful that it transformed the life of a struggling farmer into one of prosperity and influence, and it's been quietly shaping the mindset of millionaires ever since. Today, I'm diving deep into the man behind this revolutionary idea, Wallace D. Wattles. By the end of this video, you'll not only know who he was and how his groundbreaking ideas came to be, but I'll also walk you through his exact method and how you can apply it today to manifest what you want in your life. Stick around, because this could be the game changer you've been waiting for.
Manifest all your dreams and live the life you deserve.
Let's start at the beginning. Wallace Wattles was born in 1860 in the heartland of America in Illinois, right around the time of the Civil War. He grew up on a modest family farm in Nunda Township, McHenry County, where life was tough and opportunities were scarce. According to the 1880 U.S. federal census, at just 19 or 20 years old, Wallace was already working as a farm laborer, living with his parents, his father a gardener and his mother keeping the house. He received very little formal education, which meant he was largely shut out from the worlds of business and wealth that seemed reserved for the privileged few. Picture a young man toiling in the fields, day in and day out, dreaming of something more but facing the harsh realities of poverty and limitation. That was Wallace's early life, a far cry from the success gurus we see today with their mansions and private jets. As Wallace entered adulthood, he married Abby Bryant and they had 3 children, Florence, Russell, and Agnes. By the 1910 census, the family was living in Indiana, with his elderly mother also under their roof. But Wallace wasn't content with the status quo. He had a restless spirit, a drive to understand the deeper truths of life. He began diving into philosophy and spirituality, studying the works of great thinkers like Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, who explored the unity of all things, and Ralph Waldo Emerson, the transcendentalist who emphasized self-reliance and the power of the mind. These weren't just books to him, they were lifelines, helping him question the world around him and seek answers beyond the dirt and drudgery of farm life. Wallace's path took a fascinating turn in 1896 when he attended a convention of reformers in Chicago. There he met George Davis Herron, a Congregational church minister and professor who preached Christian socialism, a blend of Jesus's teachings with ideas of social justice and equality. This encounter was a revelation for Wallace. Up until then, he had been involved with the Methodist Church, but he was eventually ejected for what they called heresy. His views were too radical, too focused on reinterpreting Christianity through a lens of empowerment and abundance rather than suffering and poverty. Inspired by Herron, Wallace became a passionate social visionary, even running for political office as a Socialist Party candidate. In 1908, he campaigned for the U.S. House of Representatives in Indiana's 8th Congressional District, and in 1910 he ran for prosecuting attorney in Madison County's 50th Court District. Though he didn't win, these efforts showed his commitment to using ideas to create real change in the world. But Wallace's ideas didn't stop at politics. He immersed himself in the New Thought movement, a burgeoning spiritual philosophy in the late 19th and early 20th centuries that emphasized the power of the mind to shape reality. He traveled to Chicago, rubbing shoulders with influential figures like Emma Curtis Hopkins and William Walker Atkinson, pioneers in metaphysical thinking. Wallace even gave Sunday night lectures in Indiana, sharing his evolving insights. His primary publisher, Elizabeth Town, who ran the magazine Nautilus, became a key supporter, featuring his articles and books. It was through this network and his own relentless self-study that Wallace began experimenting with these principles in his own life. He wasn't just theorizing, he was testing them, living them out day by day. You see, Wallace had struggled financially for much of his life, bouncing between odd jobs and the farm. But around the turn of the century, he experienced what his daughter, Florence, later described as a profound personal transformation, a kind of epiphany born from years of study and application. He discovered that true abundance wasn't about luck or external circumstances, it was about aligning your thoughts and actions with a universal creative force. This realization stemmed from the monistic theory of the universe, the idea that everything comes from one original substance, an infinite, formless intelligence that responds to our focused thoughts. Drawing from Hegel and Emerson, Wallace blended this with New Thought's emphasis on creative visualization and Christian principles of faith and gratitude. He even incorporated pseudoscientific ideas about diet and fasting, believing that energy flowed from a divine source rather than just food, which he tested on himself to achieve better health and vitality. By the early 1900s, Wallace was writing prolifically. He penned books like A New Christ and Jesus, the Man in His Work, reinterpreting Christianity through a socialist and empowering lens. Then came his famous Science of trilogy, The Science of Being Great, The Science of Being Well, and most importantly, The Science of Getting Rich, published in 1910. This book wasn't born in a vacuum. It was the culmination of over a decade of personal experimentation. Wallace claimed he had tested these ideas on himself and others for 12 years, proving they worked. Tragically, he passed away on February 7, 1911, at just 51 years old in Ruskin, Tennessee, from what was described as extreme frailty in his final years. His body was returned to Elwood, Indiana for burial, and the town shut down businesses in his honor, a testament to the impact he had made. His daughter Florence, who later became a socialist delegate herself, remembered him as someone who lived every page of his books, constantly practicing what he preached. Now that you know who Wallace D. Wattles was, a self-made thinker rising from humble farm roots through sheer determination and spiritual insight, let's get to the heart of why his ideas still resonate today. After sharing this background, as I promised, I'm going to explain his core method from The Science of Getting Rich and exactly how you can use it to achieve what you want in your life. This isn't fluffy motivation. It's a practical, metaphysical system based on the belief that the universe is abundant and responsive to your creative mind. Wallace called it a science because when applied correctly, it produces results as reliably as any physical law. At its essence, Wallace's philosophy revolves around the idea that there is a single, formless substance, an infinite, intelligent energy that creates everything in the universe. This substance is always seeking to express itself through form, like money, health, or success, but it doesn't create randomly. It responds to our thoughts. If you think and act in the certain way, with clarity, gratitude, and creative action, you can impress your desires onto this substance, and it will manifest them in your reality. The key? It's not about competing with others or working harder. It's about creating value, aligning your mind with abundance, and letting the universe co-create with you. Wallace emphasized that anyone, regardless of background, can do this. It's not reserved for the elite. So how do you apply this method step by step? Wallace outlined it clearly in his book, and I'll break it down for you here, just as he intended. Think of it as a daily practice that combines mindset shifts with inspired action. By the end, you'll have a roadmap to start using it immediately. Step 1. Develop a definite vision of what you want. The first foundation is clarity. Wallace taught that you must form a clear, vivid mental picture of exactly what you desire, whether it's financial freedom, a dream job, better health, or a loving relationship. Don't vague it up with, I want more money. Be specific, like, I see myself earning $10,000 a month through my online business, living in a comfortable home by the sea. Write it down and hold this vision in your mind without doubt. Why? Because the formless substance can't deliver fuzzy results. To apply this, spend 5 to 10 minutes each morning visualizing your goal as if it's already happening. Feel the excitement, the gratitude for it being yours. This impresses your desire onto the universal intelligence. Step 2. Cultivate a creative mindset. Think in the certain way. Wallace stressed that your thoughts are creative forces. Shift from a competitive scarcity mindset to one of creation and abundance. Instead of thinking, there's not enough to go around, affirm, the universe is infinite and I am connected to its abundance. Study this by reading Wallace's book or similar works daily to reinforce it. Avoid negative influences like complaining or envy. Instead, focus on how you can create new value. In practice, whenever a limiting thought arises, replace it with a positive affirmation tied to your vision. This reprograms your subconscious, which he believes is the bridge to the infinite substance. Step 3. Practice gratitude as a habit. This is one of Wallace's most powerful tools. Gratitude keeps your mind in harmony with the creative energy, magnetizing more good things to you. He said to make it a habit. Start and end each day by listing at least 5 things you're grateful for, including your vision as if it's already manifest. For example, I'm grateful for the wealth flowing to me effortlessly. Why does this work? Doubt blocks the flow, but gratitude builds unwavering faith. Apply it by keeping a gratitude journal. Over time, you'll notice opportunities appearing as if by magic because your vibration is aligned with abundance. Step 4. Act in the certain way. Take efficient, inspired action. Thinking alone isn't enough. You must act, but not frantically. Wallace warned against inefficient toil. Instead, do everything with excellence and efficiency. When an idea or opportunity aligns with your vision, act on it promptly but thoughtfully. For instance, if your goal is wealth, start a side hustle that leverages your strengths, maybe coaching, content creation, or investing, while constantly improving, what Wallace called constant and never-ending improvement. The key is to provide more value than you receive, give